and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree.
Sam, if I could just get the sentence out. If I could just get the sentence out, Jimmy Dore can go and kill 15 kids tomorrow, and I still believe in force the vote.
That was an opinion of somebody, and that was a retweet. I'll put it out there. People can decide for themselves. I don't take a position.
Across this country, we've seen this new phenomenon lately. Chanted at sporting events and on signs. The phrase is, "Let's go Brandon."
Let's go Brandon, I agree.
I hate the white man. He's of the devil. He was made in a cave in the worst parts of Europe, produced from the lowest forms of humanity.
They're coming all over the place. They're coming all over the place. They weren't coming because they couldn't get in. Everybody comes in, your grandmother, they're coming all over. Coming all over. Coming. They weren't coming because they couldn't get in. Everybody comes in, your grandmother. They weren't coming because they couldn't get in. They're coming at levels that you haven't even seen yet. Coming at levels that you haven't even seen yet. Levels that you haven't even seen yet. They're coming all over. They're coming. They weren't coming because they couldn't get in. They're coming at levels that you haven't even seen yet. Everybody comes in, your grandmother. Everybody comes in. Everybody. They weren't coming. They're coming, and they are coming, and they're coming, and they're coming, and they're coming, and they're coming, and they are and they're coming, and they're coming, and they're coming, and they are coming at levels that you haven't even seen yet. Coming, and they are coming at levels that you haven't even seen yet.
I would say, I'm not a beta male. I'm not a beta male. You're a beta male.
Beta.
Get back in the business of creating a more peaceful world. Please clap.
Should we have done that sooner?
We are doing it.
But should we have done it sooner?
We are doing it.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
That was an opinion of somebody, and that was an opinion. I'll put it out there. People can decide for themselves. I'll put it out there. People can decide an opinion of somebody, and that was a retweet. I'll put it out there. People can decide for themselves. I don't take a position. An opinion of somebody. That was an opinion of somebody, and that was a retweet. I'll put it out there. People can decide for themselves. That was a retweet. That was a retweet. That was an opinion of somebody. Retweet. That was an opinion of somebody.
The world is actually a small piece. The world is actually a small piece of the universe, right? And then they have cans of soup. Soup. and they throw the cans of soup. That's better than a brick because you can't throw a brick, it's too heavy. But a can of soup, you can really put some power into that, right? And then when they get caught, they say, no, this is soup for my family. They're so innocent. This is soup for my family. It's incredible. And you have people coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup, and they lay it on the ground, and the anarchists take it and they start throwing it at our cops, at our police. And if it hits you, that's worse than a brick because it's got force. It's the perfect size. It's like made perfect. And when they get caught, they say, no, this is just soup for my family. And then the media says, this is just soup. These people are very, very innocent. They're innocent people.
Early in the morning, they went to the table with the black robe, the black shield, and they pulled out the votes. Those votes were put there.
Running against the worst candidate in the history of presidential politics puts pressure on me. Can you imagine if I lose my whole life? What am I going to do? I'm going to say, I lost to the worst candidate in the history of politics. I'm not going to feel so good. Maybe I'll have to leave the country. I don't know. Unbelievable. At the same time, the vaccine is one of the greatest achievements of mankind. Well, you have to understand, the first time I ever heard of Black Lives Matter, they were chanting, pigs in a blanket, talking about police. Pigs, talking about our police. Pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon.
And I have a simple proposition here. I'm here to ask you for your help. Where I come from, you don't get far unless you ask. My name's Joe Biden. I'm a Democratic candidate for the United States Senate. Look me over. If you like what you see, help out. If not, vote for the other by.
Is this thing on? Testing. Hello. I don't even know. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the goddamn. I am your host. Hello, users. Welcome to the show. I am here once again. I'm holding the mic today. Just kidding. I'm gonna put this fucking shit down. Gotta put this shit down. It's causing a ruckus. All right, folks. So we got a show here. I got a show. You don't have anything. Once again, you have nothing. So I've got a goddamn here prepared. It's prepped. It's prepped. Actually, we've got some PrEP, the pill that you take. I've got some prep. Be sure to take your prep, folks. Anyway, so we've got a show here lined up. I've got a show. You have nothing. I've got some legal weed. Should I? It's a goddamn. That's a goddamn fucking wow. Anyway, folks, here is Joe Biden calling Peter Doocy a stupid son of a bitch.
That's a great asset. More inflation. What a stupid son of a bitch.
Hold up.
More inflation. What a stupid son of a bitch.
Oh. And then he looks over. It's like, wait a second. Hold up.
Stupid son of a bitch.
Oh my God.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
So here's Joe Biden. This is probably the best thing he's done in his presidency so far. So let's get a power ranking. 1, withdrawing from Afghanistan. Well, now that's number 2. This is number 1. Number 3, so 1, stupid son of a bitch. 2, Afghanistan. 3, farting on the Queen, right? Who did he farted on? Some royal motherfucker. He farted on them. That's awesome, right? That's really good. for the $1,400 checks, and that's pretty much it. He hasn't done anything else, and honestly, he campaigned on 2,000. But whatever. Either way, that's pretty good. But wait, folks, there's more. There's more. Peter Doocy responds.
After years of clips of the president and I kind of mixing it up on the campaign trail and during the transition and here at the White House, within about an hour of that exchange, he called my cell phone and he said, "It's nothing personal, pal." And we went back and forth and we were talking about just kind of moving forward.
So, okay, here's my fucking question. All right, so Joe Biden goes out there and does the most based fucking thing imaginable, right? And calls Peter Doocy a stupid ass son of a bitch motherfucker, and then calls him on the phone and says, "It's another personal, pal. So anyway, how are your chickens? How's the dog?" Like, what? What? How come I can't get a fucking phone call from Joe Biden? Like what? Joe Biden's just calling up random people, Fox News hosts, and questions, and why is he calling up Fox News people? What? Why doesn't he fucking call up Bernie goddamn Sanders and say, like, "Hey, bud, what the fuck? How are we gonna, like, kick out of, whatever?" I don't know, man. So anyway, so he goes out and does the best thing you've ever seen in your life, and then he fucking throws it all away and says sorry. And this is the problem with Joe Biden, is like the only time he's never said sorry is with Afghanistan. Every other time he does anything like accidentally good, he will always go out and say sorry. With Afghanistan, he was like, nah, we're not playing that game anymore. I'm not playing sorry. Or I'm not saying sorry to the fucking military-industrial complex. That was awesome. But every other time he does something pretty great, he always fucks it up in the end. So there you go. Fuck Joe Biden. All my homies. Guess what? Wait a second. Hold up. I got a little bit of hold up, folks. It's happening.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
How's everyone going? Hello, Infinity Crusade. Are you new here? How's it going? You forgot Bernie's name the other day? I don't like that. Did he really throw it all away? I think yes. I think it would have been more nice if he just didn't call. Hello, Matt Strackbone. Hello, Bodan, still alive. Bodan coming to us live from Ukraine. That was the 5th good thing Joe Biden has done. Let's go, Brandon. I agree. It was so good. Matt, did you see my adaptation review the other day? Because you recommended that I watch that, and I did it the other day, but I don't remember if you were there. Hello, Joe's Campos. How's it going? Simp Squad reporting. There you go. Oh, is that when he called him a social? Okay. I think I've seen that then. Weekend ep? It may have been. I have no concept of time anymore. Hello, Atel X Music. Welcome to the show. Whoa, folks. What the fuck? Is my first question. And my second question is, why haven't you seen the latest A Doom A Day upload? That's right, folks. Today I uploaded a full-length episode run. This is what I've been working on for the last little bit of time. So as you can see, I go through all these levels. I killed every single one of these motherfuckers. Check this out. It's buffering right now. That's how fast I'm going. It's buffering. You got to check it out, folks. I like Doom. If you don't like Doom, if you don't like video games, that's fine. But you're going to have to deal with me talking about this. So that's the compromise position. You're going to have to deal with me advertising this. So go check it out. It was pretty good. Could probably be better. I got a 29-minute run. It could probably be better. But like that, for example, that was not great. So it could probably be better. It probably could get like a 28. But, whatever. It's all good. But anyway, another thing is, when I started this series, I said every month I'm going to do another aspect to it. So that's why either next weekend or just on the 31st of January, I'm going to do a top 10 of the demos that I uploaded this month video, and that's going to have commentary. That's right. I'm going to be sitting here live, and we'll be going over the best runs that I did over the course of the month. And so that's going to be a little thing. I might just do that on the last day of the month, or I could maybe do it on the weekend. I'm not sure. It depends. And so that will be a live stream as well. So I will live stream. It'll probably end up being 30 minutes to an hour, depending on, like, I don't know. But either way, that's going to be a thing. So Bodan, I know you're looking forward to that one. So anyway, go watch those. Put a lot of work into it. God damn it. Please respect me. That's all I want. Should have listened to your movie review while boycotting Ben Dixon's show today. Uh-oh, there's some drams. What's going on? You should have. That's true. You should have. I also did a review of Willy's Wonderland yesterday. On Sunday, I was partaking. I was dabbling in the fungal realms of the universe, and I watched Willy's Wonderland while in that state of mind, and it was pretty interesting. There's a Yu-Gi-Oh card called Fiber Jar. I'm aware of Fiber Jar. Making excuses for Bill Maher. Send me the clip, Matt. Send me the clip. Send me the goddamn clip. I'm gonna get Ben Dixon on the goddamn phone. He needs to answer for this shit. This is unacceptable. I used to be really into Bill Maher when I was like 12. Willy's Wonderland review is damned good. Goddamned good. Yeah, I used to be really into Bill Maher when I was like 12. I respected, because that's when I was going through my edgy atheist phase, right? And so I respected that he was like one of the TV atheists who would go on TV. And I was like, oh my God, he's so cool and edgy. And then, it didn't turn out that way in the end. Yeah, I liked it better when Bill Maher would make fun of Christians. But then he went into that like Sam Harris style of like, religion is bad, but really it's the Muslims. And it's like, Like, yes, like Islam is dumb. That's correct. Like, okay. But there's more important things than fucking talking about hijabs for the 15 trillionth time in the fucking single week. And that's my problem with Bill Maher. I'm looking for news, folks. Looking for some goddams. Yeah, Bill Maher is not good. So this was sent to me. And of course, I would only ever cover this for views, and I'm just being honest. I am a sellout. I'm a corporate hack. I am a shitlib, but at least I'm an honest one. I'm going to tell you, MSDNC actually sent me a paycheck that said that I have to fill a quota where I have to talk about certain kinds of YouTubers and streamers at least 3 times a week. And then so someone sent me this. I'm doing it for the views. I'm doing it for the money. But here is Jackson Hinkle with a new theory. Jackson Hinkle is now going to tell us why the Squad are actually fascists. And I was sent to this. I have not seen the whole clip, but I was guaranteed that it was juicy.
Are Democrats the new fascists with their COVID concentration camps? I think that, as I've said before, and I literally got...
Now, first of all, I would like to say COVID concentration camps do not exist. That is not a thing, okay? Like that, I don't know what that means, right? But that's not a thing that exists. But there are actually concentration camps in this country. They're at the border and other areas that are working with Border Patrol. There's actually hundreds of these camps in this country. Remember last president, everyone was making a big deal about them. Then Joe Biden ramped them up, and now no one cares about them anymore. Those are concentration camps. That's correct. But let's see how he ties this into the Squad.
It went semi-viral on Twitter when I said it, but I stand by it 100%. I said that fascism in the United States will come from progressive, like, woke circles, like the Squad, for example. I truly believe this is just further proof of that, you know? This is just further proof of that. So, yeah, I think it will. I think it is already, right?
I wish this clip went a little bit longer, I'm going to be honest. But, okay. So, fascism is not coming from the Republicans, right? The party that literally tried to overthrow the U.S. Constitution literally a year ago, right? They violently stormed the Capitol trying to execute Democratic politicians and their own Republican vice president to install a dictator. Those, fascists running through the streets, neo-Nazis, bear-macing people, going to these life marches and just beating the shit out of people, targeting people that don't have white skin on the streets of New York City, right? Marching with tiki torches, right? Those, they're fine. They're very fine people. But the real fascists are actually the Democrats, but not just not Joe Biden, right? Not Joe Biden having, border camps, right? That's fine, right? Because now one of the things here is that Jackson Hinkle, Jimmy Dore, and the rest of these weirdos are now in lockstep with Joe Biden's COVID policy, right? They're all pretending that COVID is no big deal and that kind of stuff, which is exactly what Joe Biden's doing. So they can no longer criticize Joe Biden on that angle. So it's not those kinds of Democrats. It's not the corporate Democrats that are fine with that kind of stuff. It's the progressive Democrats that have no power. Those are the ones that are the real fascists, the ones that have no power. Isn't that really interesting? Isn't it really interesting that these people's all of their arguments are in lockstep with corporate Democrats, right? Corporate Democrats always want to attack the Squad, ostensibly from the left. That's all this is like, oh, look, the Squad is anti-Semitic because they care about Palestinian children being bombed and massacred, right? So that makes them anti-Semitic all of a sudden, right? So these people are just doing literally the exact same policy of corporate Democrats, but with a different angle. You've got fucking AIPAC that calls Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar anti-Semitic for stupid shit. You've got fucking Jackson Hinkle that says that they're fascists because ? I would love to see more of this if anyone could track it down, or if Jackson would like to have another conversation. I'd love to see more of that theory. But it's a very interesting one. And again, there is no such thing as a COVID concentration camp. That doesn't exist. That's made up. So there you go, folks. I met my quota. My MSDNC check should be hitting my bank account any minute. Gonna buy more Bitcoin with that shit. Yeah, I've got this really bad knot in my hair right now. I've got this it's really bad. Ugh, I've been trying to get it out. All right, folks. So that's that guy. Well, we're talking about dumbass motherfuckers, though. So the Bad Faith podcast featuring Virgil Texas, who rest in peace, put out a very interesting clip here. This is Brianna Joy Gray's advertisement tweet. AOC took blah, 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 blah. It's just quoting Paula Jean Swearingen. The ketchup queen, we all remember Paula Jean, the ketchup queen, was going on ranting and raving last year about how AOC was actually an undercover, she was AOC is actually undercover boss. She secretly owns a restaurant, but has been trying to cover that up while she runs for Congress as a bartender. She actually secretly owned the restaurant. Actually, she was a secret part owner, except that didn't end up being true. But that's what Paula Jean was saying. In between, I don't know what kind of drugs she was on, but she was on some really interesting drugs. And she would stay up until 4 a.m. talking about ketchup and making that. Does anyone remember that? Can we just have, before we get into this, this clip, can we just actually have a goddamn moment where we remember that Paula Jean was at 4 a.m. tweeting about ketchup packets? Does anyone, that actually happened. But anyway, I made videos of that. Go watch it. But anyway, so AOC, again, just like with Jackson Hinkle, just like with Jimmy Dore, they are marching in lockstep with the Biden administration. They are literally arms linked with Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and the corporate Democrats. They are criticizing the Squad in very destructive ways. Now, again, you can criticize the squad all you want. You can say electoral politics will not save us. I agree with all those things. But these criticisms of the squad are so ridiculous, so specific, and so lacking in context. Again, the only material effect of this is that the squad has less power and the corporate Democrats get more power. Look what they did to Nina Turner. Now, am I going to say that the forced to vote weirdos changed the election so that Nina Turner lost? No, not at all, because I'm not a fucking delusional fuckwit. These people have very little power. But their role in the political machine is to demobilize the left and to reduce the power of the left, to reduce solidarity. Reminder, Bernie Sanders' 2020 campaign slogan, solidarity forever. That is the exact opposite of what these people do. Now, they claim to be super left, but when you ask them about things oh, why don't you do mutual aid or direct action or whatever, they usually don't really want to talk about that. But anyway, let's keep watching. So by keep watching, I mean start watching. Here's Paula Jean Swearingen with another reason why the squad are actually sellouts. Let's watch.
Do you think an independent could win in West Virginia?
If we built the infrastructure, they had the support, I do. Right now, I won't run for office again. I joined the People's Party, but I will not run for office again and take people's dollars. People sacrifice millions of Americans.
So what she's doing is basically saying, I'm not going to run for office, and anyone who does run for office is a scammer and a fraud. Now, okay, if you want to present an alternative where it's I'm going to focus all my work on direct action and mutual aid and local organizing, and we're going to basically create dual power in this country so that the government is, we don't need the government to survive. Imagine if we could feed ourselves. Imagine if we created a giant food program like the Black Panthers did, right, where we could feed all of our families, all of our friends, all of our children without any need for the government. Imagine if we were able to decouple things like housing from having to work for a corporation. That would be great. But again, is she going to do that? Let's watch.
For so-called grassroots campaigns, and I think that the progressive label has been co-opted by a lot of these corporate candidates. But a lot of people gave up a lot of their time. Millions of Americans did. They gave up their money. They gave up their, their lunch, their bill money to fight for candidates that now some of them are elected and they're not fighting for us.
There's a lot of people on the left who really felt...
Many people are saying, there's a lot of people on the left. So many people. I think I would be remiss if I didn't, real quick, remind everyone of Brianna Joy Gray from approximately 1 year ago saying some very interesting things. Let's watch. Let's listen.
Sam, if I could just get the sentence out. We can talk about Jimmy Dore can go and kill 15 kids tomorrow, and I still believe in force the vote.
I'm sorry. That one will never not be funny, but let's continue.
That way and believe strongly that electing the squad members and the squad adjacent folks would be that change and make that difference. And we're very inspired by people like Corey.
So again, the idea that anyone would actually think that electing 1 or 2 or 5 or 6 people in a chamber that has 535 members, the idea that having 6 people, right, out of 535 or 7 out of 535 is going to change anything, in order to believe that, you have to be fucking delusional. You have to be a dumb, shit for brains, asshole fuckface. But guess what? I've got good news. No one actually thought that, except for people like Brianna Joy Gray and Paula Jean Swearingen, who want to pretend and gaslight people into thinking that, oh, well, they didn't basically fix the world's problems with no power whatsoever, so they're fake, they're frauds. Now, again, if you want to say that, AOC voting present on the Iron Dome or whatever was cringy, I agree with you. If you want to criticize the squad on specific things and say that they should be doing certain, I agree with that. But again, to say that they're sellouts or, that they're fraud squad or they're corrupt is just so fucking stupid. Again, 7 out of 535. If it was 70, maybe we could start having this conversation. If it were 100, maybe we could start having this conversation. But it's not. It's like about 1%. If that, it's less than 1%. Of people in Congress that are actual human beings, and like it's not like, what is AOC is going to get elected and then punch in the cheat codes in the Library of Congress and then everyone's going to have God mode activated and all of our health bills will go away? Like, what were they thinking? Like, seriously, like, I genuinely ask you, because what I was thinking when it comes to electing people that are good, like Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, AOC, Cori Bush, etc., right? I'm thinking, oh, people that are left-wing and gonna, like, you know, they're gonna have power over messaging. They're gonna be able to go into the halls of Congress and talk about things like the Green New Deal, Medicare for all, how these things are important. They're gonna be able to elevate people, real people's stories, right? So that people understand what's going on. They're gonna go on television and they're gonna talk. That's what their job is. They literally have no power when it comes to passing legislation. But anyway, let's continue.
Bush, who has this amazing personal story and was living in her car and seemed to have a closeness to the precarity that so many Americans experience, and really hoped that that would translate meaningfully, especially given the narrow margins in the House and how much power a small group of progressives have to hold up.
Again, what power? What power? How much? This weirdo fucking fantasy conspiracy theory that, again, is called force the vote. This conspiracy theory started, I mean, you can trace the origins a long time ago, but the main branch of this conspiracy network started in December of 2020 when Jimmy Dore and Breonna Joy Gray, again, I have to play the clip again, said that it doesn't matter if Jimmy Dore killed 15 kids, she would still be addicted to the conspiracy theory behind force the vote. But the fundamentals around that conspiracy is that 6 members of the House of Representatives have all the power. Well, guess what? Remember when the BIF, the bipartisan infrastructure package, was being sent to the House, right? And the Progressive Caucus mostly voted for it except for the Squad, right? Guess what happened? 6 people voted against the BIF. How did it pass, you might wonder? Oh, right, because the Republicans crossed over. Like, hello? It's the small margins give the Squad infinite power. Huh? If that were the case, how the fuck did the BIF get passed? Because it was bipartisan. They knew that the Squad wouldn't go along, so they had enough Republicans to cover the votes. Like, I really, like, what the fuck are they talking about? Now, again, if you want to talk about how they can use their power to hold up, like, Democratic Party messaging or something, I agree. They can do that. If you want to say that they should force votes on things like Medicare for all in ways that they can, just to show that Democrats are against Medicare for all, and then use that as a marketing campaign, a messaging campaign, I agree. That's all well and good. But to claim that they've got, like, some mystical fucking power, they've got some mystical goddamn, like, otherworldly power, like they're fucking, like mages sent from a fucking fantasy land where they can, like, wave their fucking staff and then, like, the fucking dragons will come out of the sky and snatch up Joe Manchin. Like, what the fuck? But let's continue.
Any legislative agenda the same way that Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema are exercising that.
They literally think, like, these dumb fuck shit for brains assholes like Breonna Joy Gray literally think Manchin and Sinema have as much or less power than the Squad. Really? Really? Do you want to know why Manchin and Sinema have as much power as they do? Why? Well, because Joe Biden actually agrees with them. First of all, Joe Biden and Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema are all on the same fucking team. But you know what else? You know who else is on those teams? On that team? The fucking big corporations and big donor classes in this country. That's who else is on the fucking team. That's why fucking Manchin and Sinema have so much power. It's not because, oh, they're 2 in a gridlocked Senate. No, it's because the fucking the corporations and the donors are on their fucking team. So they get to manufacture the whole narrative. The president's on their team. If the president and the Squad were really on the same team, the president wouldn't have gone from fucking 3.5 trillion down to 1.75. That wouldn't have happened if the Squad and the president were on the same team. But guess what? They're not. And the Squad is on their own against the corporate donors. But Bree is just giving free talking points to the corporate donors. Now, again, am I saying that the Squad can't be criticized? That's not what I'm saying at all. But if you're going to criticize them, be intelligent with your fucking criticism. This Fantasyland conspiracy garbage doesn't do anything. It's fucking loser shit. It's fucking like what? What, you really think like one single or 6 like fucking politicians are gonna save us? Like, again, like the dragons, like it's like they're fucking, they find the secret Dragon Balls or something, and then they fucking get Shenron down here, and they're gonna grant us the fucking wishes that, like, what the fuck are they thinking? Like, do they not understand why the fuck Kirsten Sinema and Joe Manchin have so much power? Do they really not know anything about fucking corporations and big donors? Like, are they pretending to be dumb? Like, what the fuck are they on
power
about?
In the Senate.
Holy shit.
And
fuck.
I wonder what you make of how they've done so far and some of the criticism that they've received now that they've been in office for 4 years.
Oh, one thing about Joe Manchin, I want to say, he's fallen into the rotating villain narrative.
Mm-hmm.
It's not been any secret, even back.
Now, I agree with this thing. The idea that Joe Manchin being a corporate stooge is a shocker to anybody is ridiculous, right? But so I agree with this part.
When Joe Manchin was a delegate, that he's been corrupt, and he's not a people servant, he's a corporate servant. And as far as the squad goes, Cori Bush is a wonderful woman. I've always loved her. But I wonder what's going on. We were promised.
Like, I wonder what's going on. What? What does that mean? I wonder what's going on. Like, is that like, oh, like my fucking BFF hasn't called me back in like 3 weeks. I wonder what's going on. Like what? I wonder what's going on. Me too.
That they would go in and bust the halls of Congress wide open, and they would be strong advocates still.
Okay, so we were promised that they would go to Congress and bust the halls wide open. Well, that's obviously a metaphor, right? So what does that mean? They would be a strong advocate for Medicare for all.
Medicare for all. A living wage, and they've pulled back from that.
They haven't, though. When have they pulled back from that? That's what I'm asking. Literally, I have never, and I pay attention to politics. Maybe there's secret clips that they've got in their circles that I don't have access to. I would love that information. I have never seen Cori Bush use language like, oh, we need to have access to affordable health care. She's never said that. She is a staunch Medicare for all supporter. Does that mean, but I went to the doctor the other day and we don't have Medicare for all. Well, someone in Missouri voted for Cori Bush. I should have Medicare for all, right? That's how it works, right? That's the world Paula Jean and fucking Brianna Joy Gray want to tell you. That's it. Their fucking fantasy world, and where the mages fall from the sky and the Dragon Balls are real. Like what? Like, they haven't.
She took grassroots money with her grassroots PAC and gave it to corporate candidates.
Like, now that's another weirdo conspiracy theory here. So the what they're saying is AOC took your money and gave it to corporate candidates. In reality, what she did was she did her like party dues or whatever the fuck, like in order to be a member of a party. And yes, it's stupid, and yes, we can criticize that structure. But what she did is she's trying to build power within the Democratic Party. So she basically what she did is she said, I'm not going to pay the party dues to like Nancy Pelosi's little fund or whatever. I'm going to do it separately to the party itself. There was like this big machination around it. But anyway, she did not give her money to like fucking Nancy Pelosi's personal campaign. That is not what happened. That's just not what happened, right? So what she's doing is she's trying to buy influence within the Democratic Party. Now, again, you can criticize that. That's fine, right? But to say that she's like funneling grassroots money to corporations is just factually wrong. That's not what happened. She is paying party dues. That's a completely separate thing. Like, I don't know what if the argument is like she should become independent or something, then I'll listen, or she should defect to the People's Party. Okay, I'll listen to that argument. But again, she is not secretly funneling money to like fucking like Henry Cuellar or some shit. Like, that's not happening. Like, that's just not like that. That's just not happening, right? It's just not happening. But again, in their conspiracy world, that is happening. She's a secret stooge to like send money to like the corporations. She's stealing workers' money to send to fucking Big Pharma or something in the Paula Jean world. Now, again, another thing, if I'm donating to a political candidate, I already know that money is going to be used on electoral politics, right? I'm not donating to AOC hoping that AOC is going to send that money that I donated to her to a strike fund. If I want to donate to a strike fund, if I want my money to go to a strike fund, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to donate to a fucking strike fund. If I want my money to go to a local tenant union to like help, pay rent or something, that's what I'm going to give my money to. I'm not going to give my money to AOC and then have her hope that she will splash the money on an abortion relief program. No, if I want to support that, I'll support that directly. When you give money to AOC, guess what she's going to use that for? She's going to use that for electoral politics, and that's exactly what she fucking did. So this idea that AOC is like secretly funnel, like what the fuck are they talking about, man?
People that did give up their lunch money.
And if you're skipping lunch to give AOC $2, I don't like. That to me is a little weird.
People that did work hard for her. people that did take their bill money and give it to her, she turned it around and gave it to people that she's supposed to fight
That's just, again, that's not true. She is lying to you. Paula Jean is either a dumb motherfucker, or Brianna Joy Gray is a dumb motherfucker, or they're lying to you. One or two of these people has to be lying to you. There's no way, because I know Brianna Joy Gray is not that stupid. I know she's not that stupid, right? So I'm not sure. Paula Jean might actually be that stupid. It's very possible. But again, this fantasy narrative that AOC is funneling money into corporate candidates is just wrong. It's fantasy.
Yes. I don't know what's going on with them. I wish that we could get answers, but this is not what we were promised. And this is why people feel so discouraged right now with this so-called movement, because millions of Americans gave up their time and money, and now we're all facing the disappointment of people making promises, and once they got there, they're not doing their jobs.
So I don't know what to tell you, but I have been following AOC's candidacy since she debated Joe Crowley. That's like a couple nights, I think maybe a week before she debated Joe Crowley on television was when I first heard of her. And I followed her ever since very extensively. And I can tell you, at no fucking point ever did she promise she was going to go in and get us Medicare for all instantly. That never happened. I was, maybe there was a secret clip that I fucking missed, like a secret clip where she was talking to Paula Jean or something, and she was like, yep, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to pull the secret book in the Library of Congress, and then the whole fucking wall is going to open up, and then I'm going to find the Black Star Dragon Balls, and then Shenron, the red Shenron's going to come down and give me a fucking wish, and then they're going to scatter across the planets. I didn't see that clip, so unless you want to show me that clip, the only thing I can deduce here is that Paula Jean, or both Brianna Joy Gray and Paula Jean, are fucking batshit insane, or they're lying to you, because none of that happened. Now, again, you can criticize them and say that they should be doing more, they should be doing this and that, and that's fine, and we should criticize them. But to say that they're frauds, or they're corrupt, or they're funneling money to corporate candidates, it's just wrong. It's not real. It's fake. It's literally fake news. It's fantasy land. I've got plenty of criticisms of AOC and Cori Bush, none of which are related to them being Democratic Party politicians. I don't know what the hell. But, these people are obviously on some sort of drug, and my only request is, can you fucking pass that shit? Because goddamn. Is that woman reading a script? Her eyes keep looking to the side. I don't know. Which one?
Been in office for.
I'm just scrolling through this video. Are you talking about Brianna Joy Gray?
Folks.
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. Yep, that is true, Bodan. We do not have a second Hitler threatening to fucking destroy our country. I am trying to catch up on a lot of the Ukraine-Russia stuff because I am not terribly intelligent on that. I'm an FTVer. I mean, you're clearly not an FTVer. Let's be honest. You're clearly not an FTVer. You're experiencing right now what we would refer to as life after Force the Vote. AOC did technically give money to centrist ones to keep Republicans out of those seats. Yeah, she was doing it through the Democratic Party. Doing it through, the fucking... battleground fucking bullshit. It wasn't like she was, funneling them to corporate fucking candidates. Yes, we are in agreement, but it's just the language here being used to describe it is what I'm criticizing. The fucking white one, the ketchup queen. Yo, I've got this, fuck-ass knot in my goddamn hair. Yeah, I know Russia's nuts. I know that for sure. I just don't know the... I don't know the exact details quite yet. Yep. Alright, let's look at some goddamn Google-ass news. Let's see what the algorithm's feeding me today. Oh my god, this is the top fucking story, is the fucking stupid son of a bitch. I mean, that's... it sucks that he fucking... Oh, someone asked me earlier how crypto's doing. Let's find out. All right, folks. Let's check it out, the crypto segment. So we got Bitcoin. It's up 6%. Very nice. Solana, also up 6%. I'm still pretty much way down, though. Looks like we're going back up, folks. It's happening. It's happening. It's happening. All right. Yeah, that's right. Fuck you, crypto haters. Crypto haters are my motivators. Still, like, down, like, fucking 30% on the week, though. So, we are in it. We are in it, folks. Now this, I'm seeing a study here that I don't agree with. I'm really trying to get this goddamn fucking knot out of my fucking hair. So, like, I'm sorry, I've been focused on this for, like, the whole stream. I've been doing this for, like, an hour or two. Hi, I like your channel. Hello, Kizna. Welcome, welcome. All right, folks, I'm going to read this for the first time, and I'll give you my hot takes on this as we go. So, no difference between psilocybin microdosing and placebo trial finds. So now, personally, I have done microdosing, and I've extensively documented differences, dosing, and effects. And I can tell you right now, there's definitely the idea that there would be no differences at all. I find that impossible to believe. But I'm going to read this. We'll see how the study works, and I'll figure this one out. With psychedelics well and truly hitting the mainstream, scientists are finally subjecting many anecdotal claims to the rigors of clinical research. The phenomenon of microdosing is one of those well-known psychedelic practices that many advocates ardently suggest leads to numerous improvements in well-being. Myself included, I would say microdosing has a lot of benefits. Despite its prevalence in popular culture, the idea of microdosing is relatively new, characterized in detail little more than a decade ago by James Fadiman. The practice suggests tiny perceptual doses of psychedelic drugs can lead to enhancements in productivity, creativity, mental well-being, and energy. So the idea is you take enough to, like, feel like something, but, like, not enough to feel any, like you're high, basically. So it's like a mood enhancer. The key to microdosing is repeated small doses, usually once every 3 days for a few weeks, and psilocybin or LSD are mostly common, the most common psychedelic drugs microdosed. I don't know about the once every 3 days for a few weeks. I've heard like 3 days on, 3 days off. Once every 3 days. Okay. Doses are usually no more than 10% of a standard psychedelic dose. Okay, so this is the thing for me that, like, as someone who's been definitely doing a lot of mushrooms lately. 10% of a standard dose. Like, what is a standard dose? Like 3.5 grams? Like, is that what a standard dose is? Like, why don't they give you, like, numbers here? Like, that's my problem here. 10% of X equals Y. Well, okay, so what's X, what's Y? Like, what? Like, I don't, okay. And it's important users garner no acute perceptual hallucinogenic effects from a given microdose. Basically, if you feel like you're tripping, then you have taken too much. Despite the popularity of microdosing, it's still unclear whether the practice actually works or is just a glorified placebo. Very little clinical research has so far tested the phenomenon, and a few studies have been published to date to indicate microdosing may not be doing much at all. Now, again, is it it all depends on the dosage. Like, that's really, I mean, like, for some, like, a microdose, if you're doing like a literal, like, one speck of fucking, like, mushroom dust, you're probably not going to feel anything, and you might feel a placebo. That's possible, right? It all depends on the dosage, and that's why these kinds of studies I've always found to be very, I don't get them, because they almost never use, like, an actual standard dosage. The new study is among the first to use a double-blind placebo-controlled design to test microdosing. The European study looked at whether psilocybin microdosing led to improvements in emotional processing and reductions in symptoms of anxiety and depression. Over 50 subjects participated in the crossover trial, completing a pair of 3-week testing blocks. For one block, the participants took 5 to 7 psilocybin microdoses. In the other block, they were given placebo capsules. On 2 occasions during each 3-week block, the participants came into the lab to perform a variety tests. For someone with dyslexia, the writing here is not making this easy. Exploring creativity, emotion, perception, and other aesthetic feelings. So again, this is another thing. I want to know what these tests are. Like what is the tests to explore creativity? Like, am I getting am I taking like a goddamn exam? Like, am I taking the SAT or something? Like, what the researchers utilized capsules containing 0.7 grams of psilocybin truffles. They estimate this to equal a microdose of around 1.5 milligrams of psilocybin active. Full doses of pure psilocybin used in clinical research are often between 20 and 30 milligrams. I don't know about those. I'm only experienced in the actual mushroom itself. Corresponding author of the study, blah, 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 says his team found no tangible differences in participants comparing the periods they were psilocybin microdosing and the periods they were given placebo. Now, to me, it sounds like they were probably giving the people the microdoses, but, like, again, very small amounts. Not subperceptual, but, like, subperceptual. So, now, again, it all depends on the dosage, and it also, like, there's tolerance to a thing. Like, if you're dosing, like, every day or, like, once every 3 days, you're going to build up a tolerance, so you need to, like, actually build that into your dosing. Interestingly, the study reports depression scores improved from baseline to block 1 regardless of whether a participant was randomized to placebo or psilocybin in the first block. That's a big thing with depression is, just a matter of mindset. Like, if you think something's going to work, that's like 90% of the battle. Like, if you think something is going to work, boom, you're almost there. Like, you're literally, like, 10 minutes away from being home. So, can keep going here. I'm trying to look. I'm scanning. Psilocybin microdosing may still play a role, but it is good to remain cautious on using it in practice, as it might also have unwanted side effects. Van Elk tells News Atlas, if anything, most studies show that psychedelics hamper rather than facilitate performance, so I don't expect microdosing to have any beneficial effect on me. I think these people don't know what the hell they're talking about. As far as creativity is concerned, now again, I'm just going off of my own personal experience here, but as far as creativity is concerned, how do you test creativity? Like, if I were going into a lab and, like, talking to a doctor and the doctor was like, here, like, fucking paint me a fucking picture of a goddamn, like, oak tree or something, like, I feel like I wouldn't be able to perform that well regardless of whether or not I'm on a drug of some kind, right? But if I'm, like, doing something that I genuinely have interest doing, like if I were, like, I don't know, if I was drawing on my own time in my own space, I would be more creative. It's all about context here. So I don't know. I'm not too big on these studies that keep coming out that have like these big headlines. Like, there's no difference between anything, and also like the criteria is really bizarre. So anyway, I'm not convinced. Not convinced, folks. I'm not convinced. I am pro microdosing, I say, but also I am against doing drugs. I think drugs are bad for you. And if you do drugs, they will melt your brain, and your mom will be very disappointed in you. But my mom's dead, so I can do as many drugs as I want. But again, everyone, do your own thing. Like, I've had some very intense reactions with like 1/4 gram of mushrooms before. So I'll do police stories tomorrow. I did too many police stories yesterday. But also, my cell phone doesn't work because I'm in a Faraday cage, so I was just staring at a blank screen. But yeah, so I mean, I've had intense reactions But then I've also, like, if I'm doing them a lot, I've done like half a gram and have like had like no reaction. So like like there's tolerance plays a big role in this stuff. What kind of substances are mushrooms? People would refer to it as a hallucinogen. But anyway, folks, I am under the impression that that's the show. I'm under the impression that that's the show. I mean, again, it's not confirmed. I'm still waiting for the study to be peer reviewed. But I'm under the impression that the show is over. So I don't know what that means for this. Is the show over? I think it is. I don't know. Anyway, folks, I will be back. I will be back tomorrow. And I will be doing another live stream tomorrow at 10 in the morning. And that's pretty much it. If y'all want to continue talking about mushrooms, I would recommend going to the Discord. I would recommend doing that because, don't do drugs, kids. They're bad for you. They are bad for you. So, 1 hour show today, slacker. Well, you know how it is. You know how it is. You know how it is.
$7 million for reef fish management, $25 million to combat Asian carp, $2.5 million to count the number of amberjack fish in the Gulf of Mexico.
The reason the market is doing what it's doing is people are sitting at home getting the checks from the government, okay? And this fair share is a bullshit concept.
No, seriously, hot sauce. I've been eating a lot of hot sauce, a lot of raw peppers and hot sauce.
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree.
Could we have done that sooner?
We are doing it.
But should we have done it sooner?
We are doing it. It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day.
I admit to
every day it is time for us.
Honestly, Sam, if I could just get the sentence out, we could talk about Jimmy Dore could go and kill 15 kids tomorrow, and I still believe in force the vote.
The Burmese executives. So this Burmese, they say, pronounce it Burmese. A real beautiful company.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree.